When it comes to taxes, the devil is in the details. What to report and when to report it are two of the pesky details that can trip employers up. Seemingly simple documents like the venerable W-9 and the IRS Form 1099 are both simple and complex. So how do managers keep from stumbling on hidden tripwires? Recently, Rob Campbell and Kristen Reese-Scalabrino, analysts for Witham, joined us for a discussion of common misconceptions and processing errors related to the W-9 and IRS Form 1099. The full 45-minute recording of this discussion is available to Dealer's Edge members only. Dealer's Edge members enjoy access to hundreds of dealership-specific online workshops. Members can access our full archive of webinar recordings in streaming video, podcast, and executive summary download anytime. Not to mention books, manuals, special reports, and more. Visit dealersedge.com/free trial to get started today. The W-9. As the source document for the 1099, any discussion about the 1099 starts with the W-9. A W-9 is a request for a taxpayer identification number. Because getting critical information is difficult after the fact, Kristen strongly recommends that W-9s be completed before vendors are paid, especially those paid by check. Rob and Kristen offered a few tips to make managing your W-9s easier. For quick access and 1099 matching, keep your W-9s in a separate file or book. Putting them into the vendor file can prove problematic and time-consuming in the event of an audit or review. Box number 3, which identifies what kind of corporation a company a vendor is, can create confusion. Rob noted that you should not sweat it, since the IRS already knows that answer. Certification. The vendor should swear to the truthfulness of the answers above, giving you a level of protection. Overview of 1099 NEC. NEC stands for Non-Employee Compensation and is sent to each person to whom you have paid at least $600 in services performed during the year. Compensation is reported in box number 1. The recipient must receive their copy of the 1099 NEC by January 31st. If you are filing by paper, the forms must be mailed to the IRS by January 31st. However, if you are filing electronically, you have until March 31st. There is a 30-day extension available on Form 8809 for IRS reporting only. There is no extension for forms that must be furnished to the individual, though. As with most things IRS, there are penalties for non-compliance and late filing. Overview of 1099 MISC. While similar in look, the 1099 MISC is filed for each person whom you have paid during the year. The amounts vary depending on how the payment is classified. At least $10 in royalties. At least $600 in rent, prizes/awards, other, etc. Rent will be recorded in box 1 and everything else in box 3. The due dates for sending to recipients are the same as for the 1099 NEC. However, the due date for the IRS when filing by paper is February 28th. Electronic filing is still March 31st. Similarly, the rules governing the 30-day extension are also the same as the 1099 NEC. Rob and Kristen went on to cover when is a 1099 NEC or MISC required, how to generate 1099s, common errors, penalties, rates, tips, and tricks, the de minimis safe harbor exemption, the IRS tax ID number matching program, FIRE, filing information returns electronically, frequently asked questions and everyday problems, and 1099 best practices. Become a Dealer's Edge member to access the full 45-minute workshop in streaming video, podcast, and executive summary download anytime. You can access it for free at dealersedge.com/free trial.